Hi, I'm Tom, just one pack, and this is AC on the Short Alpha Clash podcast where I'll talk all things Alpha Clash on my way to work. Now, every Sunday I sit down and select the topic and do a bit of research for my drive to work and these chats on Monday mornings. Only um, that is usually very simple because um, there's always something new to talk about. Right? But every now and again, and this was the case this Sunday, um, there isn't something big and new and exciting and special. Will be next week though, but right this weekend there weren't. So that leaves room for digging up something I have not touched much upon, but I still have opinions on. So yeah, this this thing, the one I've chosen for today, is the booster boxes. Now, along with the announcement of this article about going fully indie, there was a few tidbits, and I've touched on one of them. The big announcement was, of course, the change of distribution model, but there was a lot of small things there. I've talked about the Clash kits being replaced with something else, right? Now, one of the other things going in there was a redesign of the booster boxes. Now, the booster boxes is a funny thing. Um, the current design was not meant to be draftable, so they chose another setup for them, leaving them more room, I guess, uh, leaving them more room to put in what could be interesting for expanding the deck building process, right? So if they needed support for something, they could put that in, not caring too much whether that makes sense in a complete context. Now, that that is about to change because what they announced is that from now on, every set will be draftable, and that does put some design constraints on them. Uh, I don't think they were far off. I'm not saying that, but the the reprint might be touched upon now. Uh, so you can't just put reprints in because that will ruin the draft experience. Right now, they have to fit in somehow, or have a special slot in the draft box, in the booster, in order to not mess with the draftable experience. Right. There will also need to be more cards, and they already revealed that. There need to be more cards in the single booster pack, uh, but and there will be more packs in a booster box. But that said, the cards in the packs need to be, uh, if not designed for, well, they need to be designed for draft, but they sort of did this already. Uh, they need to be aligned so that you can actually draft with it. Now, the current way of playing sealed is to get 10 booster packs and from that build a deck, right? I've not drafted with uh, I'm not drafted with the regular boosters, but I'm guessing that it would not be a very good experience because one of the things that need to change in order for this to work is the composition of the booster pack itself, right? The the strategy and way to reprint is not going to be as easy going forward. Uh, because every time you put in a card that does not fit within the theme of the draft experience, uh, that doesn't support a strategy in that set, you take out a card that you take out a card from a pack that is not usable anymore, right? So if I did not have say I need a reprint of Moxie's heavy power armor, and I put it in a set that does not have Alpha Hunter tools in it, right? Then something like Clash Grounds or something. Then I compromise the draft experience by putting a card in that has no place in that, right? So they have to replace or at least adhere to some new strategies when they set up when they design a set, because it now needs to be draftable. Now, um, how they will structure these packs, what slots there will be in it, if there will be one rare, one foil, and two uncommons still, or that will change to, I don't know, three uncommons or something like that. I don't know. I would guess that they would do something like the Draftbox, Year of the Dragon, and hopefully soon the Nexus of Power. I would guess they would do something similar to that, right? But that does limit that reprint policy, and that it does also mean that you have to think not in 2 or 3 sets going together to create an environment. You have to get every card to fit in to the draftable experience. Well, I say every card, don't mean every single card. You will still have to produce cards meant for constructed play, because that will still be the more important bit, right? But having draftable packs means that they need to adhere to that. I don't think a lot of people, I know some did, bought Year of the Dragon to crack packs to get their game pieces, right? They might have, because if I remember correctly, there was some likelihood of getting certain cards that was higher and stuff like that, but you weren't cracking them for getting specific cards unless they will do alternate art, right? Now, this would be sort of melded together, and you had to be able to support both of these setups, both the cards meant to set or support the diversity and the strength of the meta, together with cards that actually work together in a strategy. Right? So there will be some changes to that. What I hope they will do is creating sort of the same experience as we had with Year of the Dragon, I hopefully have with Nexus of Power. Because if you have not tried to draft Alpha Clash, well, I would highly suggest. I'm a big fan of the draft experience, right? Not because of it putting everyone at a level playing field and that sort of thing, which it sort of does. It is skills from there along the. That's apparently hard to say. Some of the way that is more skill based, right? But I love building decks, and this is just an interesting challenge to build deck, right? So I like the draft experience, I like the sealed experience, and hopefully that will become just a little bit more accessible with every box being able to do so you don't have to wait 2 sets in order for you to have access to that. So hopefully that will make draft more accessible, and I would love to have a draft night with my playgroup, just because it's fun, right? It does put some limitations. You need to be a certain amount of people in order to do that, but it is still a fun experience to draft, and I love that this is coming to Alpha Clash in a more consistent way. What this also means is that there is one less set a year that needs to be curated and produced, had new arts for some of the cards. I don't know if that was an easier set to make or not. I would guess it was, because most of the cards was reprints, but nevertheless, it is, in my opinion, a very cool experience we had with Year of the Dragon. I'm really looking forward for that to be the case for every set. Now, in Year of the Dragon, I want to mention this quickly. In Year of the Dragon, that box as a product was a really, really good idea. In in that it came with, just like they have a lot of good ideas. But it came with everything you need, right? So you open up the box, and all you need is someone who knows roughly how to play, and you're off for the races, right? You open that, there is price support, um, there is contenders, there is there's a sheet of how to do so, how to play. Everything is in the box, including the boosters, of course. That I suspect will be scaled down to we just get a regular, quote unquote, booster box. But still, uh, I think that's the right move to do so. Could they have survived with doing the box draft box? Probably. Um, it's just I don't think that it's sold that well, to be perfectly honest. I really like the idea that I could have two boxes and then just have the seal box because everything was in it. But I get if you don't want to do that because it is more expensive. And I don't think a lot of people, as I said, bought it to play to crack open for cards. So moving away from that and onto the the draftable sets, every set is a clever move, I think, and one they can just do, right? We just abide by it. Anyway, that is uh, that is what I want to say about booster boxes. If you didn't notice, now you know that they will change the 24 packs, 10 cards per pack to, I, I don't think they said specifically, but I'm guessing something around 13 or 15 cards per pack and 36 packs in a box. Anyway, that's all from me, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.